Fairbanks Focus is a locally produced public affairs program created in part by University of Alaska Fairbanks, KTVF, and Fairbanks Economic Development Corporation.
Hello again, and thank you for joining us. I'm Samantha Larson with the Fairbanks Focus, Alaska View. Today I'm joined with Charlie Young, business representative from the local Union 1959. Is that correct? Did I say that correctly,
Yes,
Charlie?
you did, here in Fairbanks.
Good. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So how are you?
I'm doing just fine.
Good, good, good. So tell me, what is it that you do with the union?
Well, I'm the field representative for the Painters and Allied Trades, and our local union is 1959 here in Fairbanks. Mm-hmm. We represent painters, drywall finishers, floor layers, and glazers, and now a new division of manufacturing employees. Really?
Well, and how do you get involved with the union?
Well, through construction. There's lots of construction jobs, both union and non-union. Mm-hmm. I chose the union path because it comes with health and welfare, and it comes with the pension contribution and, quality of life.
Tell me about these benefits.
Well, we've got a Cadillac health care plan. Mm-hmm. It's got 80% medical, 70% dental, some vision, and then we've got an annuity contribution, both defined benefit and, IRA type contribution plan.
Okay. And what are the requirements as far as joining the union?
Well, for starters, you must be 18 years of age, have a high school diploma or equivalent, GED. And you must, join our, brotherhood, our union, to work one of our jobs.
Now, is it mainly younger kids around 18, 19 that sign up, or do you encourage, everybody?
We encourage everybody. We like the younger crowd because, they're just getting started and they're easy to steer in a career path. But we're not opposed to any age or gender, for that matter.
Well, that's a plus, definitely. Yeah. These health benefits, I might come by and sign up. So do most people do this as a second job, or?
No. This is more of a career path for most of the trades in our union.
Well, you'll have to excuse me. I guess what I meant is, people who would like a second job,
Yeah, I'm not opposed to talking to anybody, as I said. Most of our trades are career-oriented, so it'd be for a single job. But I think we're here today to talk about the manufacturing division, and that is kind of open, it's, it could be a second job or a second income for a family, or, they're all entry-level positions.
Well, all the jobs that we can bring into town and help out the economy, not only in Fairbanks, but, the U.S. economy helps. Every little bit helps.
Absolutely.
So tell me, as far as bringing jobs into Fairbanks, does the union play a big role in that, or as far as maybe maintaining jobs?
Yeah, we do. This is a kind of a new area for us. Bucher Glass, one of our signatory contractors, is starting a manufacturing division that we are going to represent their employees as a bargaining unit. And, they're going to be building things that, this stuff has pretty much been outsourced out of the country for many years, and then just assembled on the buildings here in Fairbanks by our union glazers.
Right.
The best part about this manufacturing is that it's bringing jobs back to our country. It's not only good for the Fairbanks economy, the state economy, it's good for the country.
Well, and it's good for the families and the people here who are trying to make ends meet and trying to support their families.
Absolutely.
How big of a difference do you think this is going to make? Do you think this is going to influence other businesses to follow suit?
Well, I certainly hope so. If more companies and corporations across the country would lean in this direction, I don't think our country would be in as big a problem as it is.
Absolutely.
With unemployment and just kind of stalemate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, unemployment rates and the lack of jobs and the lack of funding in the economy just creates a whirlwind of, you know, issues, never-ending.
Correct.
Never-ending issues.
It does.
So,
and it always hits home.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So tell me more about the manufacturing aspect of it. Let's go deeper into that.
Okay. Well, what I think, you know, the best way to describe it is what Bucher has done, and they've really extended themselves out there as far as the buy-in for this. I mean, they've had to purchase all new computerized equipment, run, you know, with computer animated design. And it's going to be a production style factory setting to build unitized curtain walls, primarily. And what unitized curtain walls are the exterior skins that go on a lot of the buildings that are built here in Alaska. They're insulated aluminum panels. You know,
Right.
saying it as simply as I can.
That's okay.
Well, I mean, I want people to understand.
Yeah, well, I'd like to understand. I have I don't know anything about construction or manufacturing, so, but so as far as you guys, the union working with Bucher Glass, and people who are already with the union or sign up with the union, when they're working with Bucher Glass, could that kind of set them up to how could I say, go further, to learn more, to, you know, climb that ladder?
Absolutely. Okay.
In the union world, I guess?
Here's where our manufacturing works. It's an entry-level position. I believe it starts at $12.90 an hour, which is well above the minimum wage. But attached to it is a benefit package with the full health care and an annuity contribution. It's worth quite a bit. Yeah. It's way better than an entry-level position, you know, flipping burgers or something like that.
Absolutely. But you're going to earn it, though.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean,
and what we're going to use this for is, being that they work with aluminum and glass, we're going to use it as a feeder program for our apprenticeship for the glazing industry.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, I mean, a select few that, you know, actually are real good employees will get that opportunity to advance into the glazing industry, which is a whole nother branch of our union. If not, there's still a 7-step pay raise set up with the manufacturers. Every 1,000 hours, you get a nice bump.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, it's not going to take long to get up to the, you know, better than the $20 an hour range. I mean, in a few short years of working.
Well, you hang in there and, you know, work hard enough.
Absolutely.
It sounds like a fantastic career opportunity.
It is.
Especially for those, I know a lot of people, you know, some people aren't cut out for college, and some people, you know, I went to college, my little brother, he hates books, but I mean, he will work with his hands until they're black and blue.
He'd be a perfect candidate for what we're after. I mean, most of the new people that will be brought into this bargaining unit aren't going to be college educated, probably. I mean, there might be some, but I mean, that's the whole point. We're not after any specific people.
Right.
We're just looking for hard workers.
Well, that's what it takes.
And that is what it takes.
So, and I kind of want to go back into a little bit of the history of the union. How long has it been here in Fairbanks?
Well, the Painters Union has been here since the 30s in Fairbanks. Across the country, it's been here since the 1800s it was formed. It's been better. I mean, through the pipeline era, the unions were very strong in Fairbanks. And
are they still strong today?
Here in Fairbanks, they're a lot stronger here than they are in most parts of the country. We're still a union town, the way I see it, anyways.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's correct.
So, as far as the manufacturing and maintaining jobs in Fairbanks, do you think that this, what would you call it, with Bucher Glass, teaming up with them, if you will, Do you think this is going to continue to expand over a period of time and grow and bring more and more jobs into Fairbanks?
I certainly hope so. I mean, a lot of it will be, limited with what jobs Bucher Glass wins, through the bidding process. Without the jobs, it won't expand. But with everything that's put out so far, it looks really good. I mean, I know that they're working very hard, bidding jobs, not only in Alaska, but all over the country. If they could start, manufacturing the unitized systems for all these buildings, I mean, yeah, it's going to grow.
And are they building, or are they processing these things or producing these things for just buildings and construction in Fairbanks locally, or?
Well, it's starting that way, but I mean, there's already been jobs secured down in Juneau, down in Anchorage, here in town, at the University of Alaska Fairbanks and in Anchorage. I mean, there's quite a few jobs already on the docket, that will be produced by this group. But there's some big ones still out in the we don't have yet. So I mean, we're trying. Time will tell.
Takes time.
It
takes
does.
work. So as it grows and these jobs expand, Anchorage, Juneau, will people who work with the union up here in Fairbanks, will they have a chance to go to other places and work and still be tied to the Fairbanks Union, or how does that work?
Well, with the manufacturing division, it's localized. The work is going to be done here in Fairbanks. I don't know if you're familiar with the old JCPenney warehouse.
Kinda.
It's over in the Aurora subdivision. That is where the magic will happen. I mean, the factory setting is going to be set up at that place of business. So no, the manufacturing employees will work indoors, inside, at that job, or at that site.
Right.
It's the glazers that are the other part of Bucher Glass. They're the ones who will be installing all this stuff in all these respective areas.
So is this the first time that, and you'll have to forgive me, I am not too privy on the union background, but is this the first time that the union has teamed up with a business like Bucher Glass?
Well, no. I mean, all of our relationships with contractors are kind of like teaming up with them. I mean, we've got several paint contractors, several glazing contractors, several flooring contractors. It's a team effort all the way around. I do believe that we're going the extra mile, both the union and Bucher Glass, on this manufacturing.
Well, I think it's great. I think what you guys are doing together, bringing jobs into Fairbanks. It seems like we talked a little bit before. It's going to bring more jobs in. Hopefully, it grows and grows, and really help stimulate our economy, not just in Fairbanks, but the whole country. Because I think we really need it right now, for sure.
Well, I do too. I do too.
I mean, and there's so many people in town that need jobs and are hardworking. So I think it's great what you guys
I think it's
definitely
great.
doing. And like I said, those health benefits, I'm a little tempted myself, but.
Can I touch on the training that the union is going to do for all this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we might have another minute if you just want to throw some stuff out there.
That's fine. All of these new manufacturing employees, one of the first things the union does is give them a first aid CPR class, that teaches them basic first aid, how to do CPR and how to use an AED. We also give them a hand signaling and rigging class, because they'll be lifting and doing all kinds of heavy work in this factory setting. And then some of them will get forklift training. So, I mean, we're going to try to do our part to keep them educated enough to do a good job.
You're going to keep them prepped and keep them educated.
Absolutely.
So they can do the job, but also be safe,
That's correct.
I think it's fantastic. It sounds like a good deal. If anybody out there, if you're able-bodied and you need work, hey, contact this guy. Get out there, because it sounds like a steal to me. I mean, and it's a career. So, well, that's going to about do it for us here today on Fairbanks Focus Alaska View. Would you like to tell them an email or phone number real quick that they could contact you?
My name's Charlie Young. You can get a hold of me at the Painters Union at 800 30th Avenue. Our phone number is 457-4444. My email is cyoung@local, spelled out, 1959.org.
All right, thank you again, Charlie, for joining us. That's going to do it for us here today on Fairbanks Focus Alaska View. I'm Samantha Larson. Have a good one.
Thanks for joining us here at Fairbanks Focus Alaska View. I'm Nanette Pearson. Today I am joined by Scott Bucher, owner of Bucher Glass. Thanks so much for joining us today, Scott.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about your company.
We're a commercial glazing company. We've been in business for 46 years. We do work in the state of Alaska and some work in Hawaii. We're starting to do unitized curtain wall panels, which we'll make here in Fairbanks and ship them to our projects in Fairbanks and elsewhere in the state.
Oh, cool. Well, now tell our viewers at home, what are these panels called? What are they called again?
Unitized curtain wall panels.
Unitized curtain wall panels. Now, what exactly are unitized curtain wall panels?
A curtain wall is a non-load bearing wall, so basically it's the exterior skin of a building.
Okay, and I think you said before sort of like the envelope that goes around it.
It would be the building envelope, yeah. It could consist of course, the glass, which you look out. Then it could have other surfaces like concrete or terracotta or stone or whatever you wish to put into it.
Cool.
And they're basically, instead of building the walls on the job site, on the building, they're pre-assembled in a factory and then shipped to the job site and hoisted into place with a crane.
So basically like a giant panel where you're placing the skin on the building.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, very cool. And I understand that that you guys do like the coating for a lot of it too. Tell me a little bit about like projects you guys have in the works.
Right now we have two major projects, the Juneau State Library Archives Museum and the University of Alaska Fairbanks Engineering Building. And we have a couple of other smaller projects, the University of Alaska Fairbanks Dining Facility and North Pole Library and the Palmer VCAL, which is a performing arts center down in Palmer. And they'll all be unitized panels that we'll make here in Fairbanks.
But they're going to be of different materials, is that right? The
different materials, yeah. The Juneau project will have terracotta and glass and zinc panels. The engineering project will have glass, composite aluminum panels, and a concrete panel. The other projects will be glass only. It won't be the entire building, just the vision area.
Very cool. Is there anywhere in Fairbanks where we can see some of your guys' work already in place?
There are some projects in Fairbanks that have the unitized curtain wall that we previously had purchased in China. The Fairbanks International Airport is one of the projects. The University of Alaska Fairbanks Life Science Building that's just about finished. The new Tanana Chiefs Clinic is also a unitized project that we've done.
So you guys did the new Tanana Chiefs building?
Yes.
And that's that one that has that sort of gradient sort of coloring, doesn't it?
Correct.
What is that thing built out of? Like, what's the materials in that panel?
Well, on that one, we only did the vision area, the glass areas, but there's that looks like wood is a Parkalex, and then they have some stainless steel that's got some acid etching in that to give it the different colors.
Cool. Very cool. So what are like the benefits of using these panels instead of like framing the house in the traditional way?
You can enclose a building probably 2/3 faster than traditional framing.
Wow.
You usually have a better quality wall. You can control the quality inside the factory. Typically, problems that occur are when you are interfacing between two different trades or different construction methods, whereas with a unitized curtain wall, you can put any type of product into it and it will seamlessly enclose the whole building.
Well, I know you talked a lot about using lots of glass panels in a lot of these projects. How how do you keep it warm if it's glass exactly?
Well, behind it, it would have the aluminum framing is the structural support for it. And for like the Fairbanks projects, what we're doing is an isobar, which is a fiberglass reinforced polyamide thermal break. And so your exterior is completely isolated from the interior, and then you would use like a rock wool or mineral wool insulation in the
So there's
in
actually
the cavity behind it. Yeah.
wool in the glass?
No, well, it's a mineral wool.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a better insulation than say a fiberglass bat.
Okay.
So
Well, very cool. So it's really designed for the Arctic.
yes.
Like, and to be insulation and to work here.
Yep. We've designed it to work for the Fairbanks environment, and we can, depends on where the building is located and the specifications, but they're all usually a custom design depending on what's required for the building.
Very cool. And it sounds like a lot of like sort of science and technology goes into the making of these panels. How long have these panels been being made?
Unitized curtain wall?
Unitized curtain
well,
walls, yeah.
unitized curtain wall has been around for quite a while. It's not really that new of technology. If you were to look at the high-rise buildings in the States and that, they would all be unitized panels that go up. So.
Okay. Very cool. And what other things do you see? Is there stuff that's coming out that is new that you guys couldn't use the unitized walls before, or things that are happening now with it?
It's kind of an evolving technology, as architects change designs and infills and surfaces that they want and the performance requirements that are needed. Typically you can do a little bit more detailed and exotic designs with the unitizing than a stick system. So.
Very cool. And how long has Bucher Glass been in Fairbanks?
46 years.
46 years. Wow. You don't seem like you're quite old enough to have a company that's 46 years old.
No, my parents started it.
Very cool. And so you said that you also do work in Hawaii as well. I think that's kind of funny. It seems like there's a lot of places that do business both in Alaska and Hawaii. So do you get to spend time down there doing projects as well?
Yeah, we've been working in Hawaii for probably 6-7 years now. We've done several projects over there, and we're looking at some other projects that are coming up that we'd like to use our new facility to fabricate the panels and ship them over to Hawaii. Last year we did a traditional stick system that we fabricated here in Fairbanks and sent over to Hawaii.
Oh, very cool. Is this something, I know you said it's mostly do you just do commercial buildings?
Yes.
Is it something that people ever use for like residential stuff?
Typically, no.
Okay. Is it just because of the mass pieces that are constructed, or?
It would, yeah. I mean, it's just commercial construction versus, we could theoretically do a house, but
you heard him.
but it's not a practical construction for a house. It's really made for large commercial projects.
For bigger buildings.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. And what was the process like for you guys getting the bid at the university?
It was basically a competitive proposal based on our design. They had a concept of what they wanted, and it was up to us to provide the design showing the structural performance and thermal performance and design intent that the architect put out, along with a price proposal, and then they would take score it on a point system, basically.
Cool. Well, very cool. And just out of curiosity, so I know, of course, different panels, different materials is going to have different costs.
Yes.
But I don't know if you have an estimate or an idea of what the cost of one panel would be, but you said that a lot of them run 20 by 30, is that right?
Yeah, it would probably be easier to give you a square foot number. For some of the more like the university, the engineering building in Juneau Slam, they had some really nice materials that were, high-end materials. Those are about $135 a square foot, where if it's just a traditional glass, just a vision light, you're probably looking at in the $95 to $110 a square foot.
Oh, wow. And you're talking, like we were talking before, 20 by 30 panels, so that ends up being a pretty expensive panel. But then, of course, like you were saying too, there's not as much need for the other stuff that you would have to build if you were just building up the walls around it. Like you're saying, like the insulation?
All of that is included. Yes, it's the entire wall, both the interior and the exterior. Once it goes up, it may or may not be finished on the inside. We can have a painted back pan, so it could be, once it's installed, that's what you'll see both on the inside and the outside.
Well, very cool. Very, very cool. And so do you know when the construction projects are supposed to be done on the engineering building at the university?
That one, I should have it enclosed. We'll actually start in March. We'll fabricate the panels throughout the winter, and probably take me 6 weeks to 2 months to enclose the building. The Juneau project, we will start to enclose in October, and basically we'll have 3 weeks on it for the first phase. There'll be a second phase.
And are you guys ever looking for people to come work and learn these processes and how to do it?
Yeah, with our new fabrication facility, we're needing to hire quite a few people for the assembly line process. So.
Oh, very cool. And is it something where there's like a good career path, like if you get in with the company?
Yeah, this position is it's basically an entry-level position, and if a person wanted to have a career in this factory, they could. It's also going to be a place where we'll look to hire start apprentices for the actual trade, the installation crew of glazers.
Very cool. So if you're out there and you're looking for work, it's good to know that there's a place where you can get an entry-level position and you have a place to advance too. I know that's a hard time for a lot of people who start off in entry-level positions, since there's not always a place that you can see yourself going. So to know that you can build a career, in a glass factory here in Fairbanks is kind of cool. And just for our viewers' sake out there, if they're looking for work or they're interested in learning more about your company, where would they go to find out more?
They could go to a couple places. They could contact the local union, Charlie Young, 457-4444, or they could call our foreman, Calvin Myhill, at 452-2394.
Awesome. And just tell them that Scott sent them?
Sure.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. We really appreciate having you on. And I'm really excited about the engineering building. I'm hoping, I guess 2014's okay, but I'm hoping that maybe before March, I don't know, maybe before March you guys can start installing them, just as a favor to me. But thanks again for coming on the show today, Scott. We really appreciate having you.
Thank you.
And that's going to do it for our segment here at Fairbanks Focus Alaska View. Join us again in the fall.